Good evening and welcome to Inmates for Change. My name is Butter Jones. Everyone refers to me as Jones. I'm the founder CEO of the 501c3 not-for-profit Inmates for Change. We are dedicated to breaking the bondage of destructive thinking. We offer a 12-week curriculum that's called Path to Purpose. And over this 12 weeks, we encourage returning citizens and individuals who have felony convictions to take a series of course studies of curriculum that entail critical thinking, interpersonal relationships and interactions, self-image, spiritual connectedness and God consciousness, life change, and of course we offer a vocational training component as well, amongst a couple of others that are involved in there. The reason that we got Inmates for Change started is me as a returning citizen, when I came home, I found it very difficult to secure gainful employment. Even though I possess 27 years of sales experience, professional sales I should say, 17 years managerial experience. I ran my own business, home improvement and remodeling, for 15 years. And I was a cable installation technician for 10 years. I'm articulate, intelligent, I am professionally dressed in all times. And I still had this boundary in front of me and this challenge for securing gainful employment because of this felony conviction. So this gave me the opportunity to sit down and decide what I was going to do with my life and try to work something that others coming through who were not as fortunate as I was but were still in the same situation, coming through and learning how to adjust to reentry and successful reintegration into family, community, society, and corporate America. Tonight we have a guest, Mr. Rob Pettigrew. Mr. Pettigrew is a returning citizen also, and what I'm going to do is give him a bit of chance to give us some background on him, and we're going to hit him with a few questions, and maybe we can get a few callers to call in at 312-738-1060. Now, Mr. Pettigrew, before I get started, let me give some contact information for Inmates for Change. We are at 773-746-3075, Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. That's where you can get someone on the phone. If you decide to view the website and see what we're offering and the program lineup that we have, the inmatesforchange.org website, and we're taking email at inmatesforchange@gmail. Getting right back into our discussion, let me talk with Mr. Rob Pettigrew. And Rob, first of all, welcome aboard. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about how long you've been home and what kind of things you were going through. And I've got a couple of questions here that I'm hiding in my hand with my, on my phone, so try not to get in front of me on it. Go right ahead.
Well,
Tell them.
first off, I've been home now 18 years this August with no reoccurring time back in the prison. Super challenges trying to make sure that those things happen, but they happen with persistence and just trying to change, trying to do something different than go back and forth to prison. I was not a person that went back and forth. I did one stint in prison, and not really enough because I did some things that would possibly send me back, but God saw fit that I continue to do things in a different way.
Okay. Wow. 18 years home, no rearrests, no reincarcerations. On a future show, I'm going to cover reentry in politics. Now, I'm not going to even reveal that right now, but if we have a little time towards the end of the program, I'm going to give a little bird's eye view of what we are going to be speaking about on that issue in itself. Let me ask you, you spoke of some of the challenges that you were going through. So before you came home, what were some of the perceived challenges that you had to face while reentering society? What were you thinking about that you might have to go through before you came home, on your way coming home?
Well, my main thoughts were on the education, and while incarcerated, I had received my GED and was taking some college courses and small business management, custodial maintenance, small things. And I wanted to take some computer classes because I have some family members that are well versed in computer things. But everything that they were giving us was behind the time, so it seemed like it was a waste of time. So I just set my mind on trying to achieve the small goals that I could, getting my GED, getting some college up under my belt. But what I thought about most is what would I be able to do with the kind of background that I did have. What I was incarcerated for is not something that they will generally let somebody just re-enter back into society and become a positive role model back into society.
Okay. That's a lot of stuff. You know, as you were speaking, I was speaking of thinking of my own experience when I was going through, you know, and it's a tough thing, you know, where you know what you want to try to do and you want to try to make yourself better, but because of the institution that you're in, they don't have the resources there for you that you can use to benefit from, or what they do have, as you said, were kind of outdated and it didn't even seem like it was worth your while. But it seems like it's good that you stuck with it because it also helped temper you for patience as well as planning, you know, and determination. You know, I know for me personally, I'm not ever going back to prison for any reason at all. I told my own wife, man, you know, I'll lay down my life for you, but I ain't going back to prison about you. You know, that just ain't gonna happen. Somebody in the grocery store run over your foot, we're gonna just have to move to the next aisle. I'm not gonna be the hero on that one, so it's just that. Coming into my next question, psychologically, how did you prepare yourself while you were going through that situation where it wasn't quite what you know you needed to get to where you were trying to be? How did you psychologically prepare yourself?
Well, I did quite a bit of reading and writing.
No arithmetic. You do no arithmetic.
Not very
Just
good at
reading
math. No, reading and writing was my outlet.
Okay.
And psychologically, these things prepared me for what I figured would be my biggest challenges. Re-entering just back into society, period. I stayed focused. I disconnected myself from the gangs. I worked out. I went to school. I was back into my cell, which I never called my home or my room like some have.
It's a cell.
And
Exactly.
it was a cell, and I kept it that way all throughout my entire incarceration.
I hear you.
And just those things are what kept me focused. And I was pretty fortunate to still have my mother and my brothers that were very intricate in my entire incarceration.
Oh man, that family support is a very, very important integral link
Yes.
into sustenance while you're inside. You know, you got something to look for or look forward to as a result of communication, even if it's just a simple letter, though it may be postmarked 3 weeks earlier than when you got it, you know, it's still something that helps ease the incarceration experience. Those of you who would like to enjoy and include yourself in our conversation, you can reach us at 312-738-1060. Again, 312-738-1060. We've got a guest speaker today, Mr. Rob Pettigrew. Mr. Pettigrew, what are you doing right now? What is it that you're doing in the world, as we used to call it when we were incarcerated?
Well, presently I am working, my job title is outreach specialist. I work with at-risk youth and elderly people and homeless people. I go out in the community every day and I talk to people and try to get them to understand that there is change for us out here. I work for a beautiful program and I'm just staying in that form right there, just trying to reach people on any level that I can to make them realize that I was once basically in their situation. Never really being absolutely homeless, but prison is just like being homeless.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. You know, as you were speaking, I was listening. You work from the spectrum of youth through the elderly. So that's a very wide range of versatility, ideas, conversations, experiences, and wow, how's it changing you as you're going through it? I'm sure talking to a 17-year-old does not have the same kind of quality conversation that
No.
talking to someone over 40. So how's the change happening in you as you're fluctuating between the age groups?
It's a huge challenge because you have to find a way to connect to both worlds. The homeless population is a very vast thing, and trying to find out and trying to understand how it is someone deals with being homeless is it's amazing. I try my best to listen. Listening is a very good tool for the population that I work with.
Okay.
Our youth are really lacking the adults like ourselves listening. We have to listen to our youth. We can be as old as me, 52 years old, and a child can teach you something. They can teach us what it is their problems are. They can tell us what's going on with them. We just have to open our ears and listen.
Okay. Now, you heard it first. This is an individual who's out there in the trenches, working the streets, doing outreach, working with youth through elderly, homeless, at risk, and substance abusers as well, and possibly undiagnosed mental illness. So I know that the challenges are great, and I'm sure it's rewarding along the lines of it. Give us an example of what would be one of the rewards, or one or two of the rewards. I know we're kind of tight on time, but what are some of the rewards that you find that you do when you're completing your work?
There are, I can't quote you the exact numbers, but we have quite a few people that have come through our program, homeless youth, middle-aged, and elderly people that have gone from homeless to housing to employment,
Okay.
homeless to housing to school, educational programs, career-based programs. These are the things that fulfill me at the end of the day. At the end of my work day, if I've helped somebody to understand that there is some help out here, I'm quite fulfilled.
All right. Well, that's great. Those of you, again, who would like to keep in touch with us, we're at Inmates for Change, 773-746-3075. Our website is inmatesforchange.org, and email inmatesforchange@gmail.com. Getting back to the conversation, those of you who'd like to join in with a comment or a question, 312-738-1060. Here's another question for you, Mr. Pettigrew, if you're okay with it.
Sure.
Cool. In your opinion, how can the formerly incarcerated individual, how can they change public policy? Now, let me give you a little bit on that. There's a public policy that looks at a stigma of an individual coming home from prison, that they have this kind of stink smell to them about people don't want to take a chance. We have programs inside of some facilities where individuals are being held, where they offer computer skills, they offer you a chance to get your GED, they offer you a chance to get some vocational training. But when we come home, we don't get an opportunity to become gainfully employed. So along the lines of public policy, what would you, in your opinion, consider a formerly incarcerated individual would need to do to help change the policy? What is it about that individual that they would have to do?
Wow. Understand what the policies are. Know within yourself that you need to change. It doesn't come with just words, it's total action. You have to show that you are changed. Take any direction you need to stay on the path of not recidivism. I'll just put it that way. And public policy can be changed by us just taking control, taking back our lives, taking control of our lives, and showing our youth, our children, that they have a different route to go, and we can change public policy. Just that simply, to me.
Now, though that sounds simple enough how you explained it, it is very well true. Inmates for Change is part of what you were speaking about, with the curriculum that we offer with Path to Purpose, plus the work that we're doing in the community, as well as serving the demographic. Knowing that all of that is part of it, it is a personal situation where an individual has to, what they call back in the day, pull himself up by his bootstraps to get immersed in the challenge and overcoming the obstacles. And this is great stuff, and I've seen you do it, and that's why I have you here, because I know I knew what it took to get you where you are, and you're going further even today. So I commend you on that. But let me get back
Thank
to
you.
some more questions. And are you okay? Because you look a little tight. And
No, I'm fine.
You nervous?
No.
All right, don't be nervous, man. If you scared, call the police.
All right.
All right, man. All right. What would you consider the responsibility of the formerly incarcerated individual to be upon his reentry? What would that individual need to be doing? Now, let me give a little bit of, because I always like to give a little bit of a leeway into what it is. Me, I had to exercise patience. I had to learn that I couldn't have what I wanted as soon as I wanted it, the way I wanted it. That was the one thing for me, because I was back in the streets. I was a quick temper, always ready to fight, and please don't put any alcohol inside that equation, because now I'm unpredictable and extremely violent. So what would an individual need to be doing on his route back upon reentry? What would you consider the responsibility for that individual to be?
The hugest responsibility you just said, patience.
Patience?
Patience is the most important virtue there is with reentry back into society. You had to have patience there. You need to exercise the same patience out here in society. Nothing is going to come to you as fast as you want it to. I'm not sure how, what most people's belief in God is, but He'll give you what it is that He desires for you to have in His time, not yours.
Okay.
But
All right.
you have to exercise patience. That's
continuously.
Yes, continuously.
Absolutely. We've got a caller right now. Let's take a call. Caller, tell us who you are and what your comment or your question is.
Yes, sir. My name is Ray. I call every week.
Hey, Ray. Speak up just a little bit for us, Ray.
Okay. My brother is 16 years younger than I was. Still is. Years ago, he got in trouble and went to prison. He came back. I just happened to know somebody who was starting a painting company. He started working for him. Made great stride. Made enough money to go somewhere, and open his own business. So with a little bit of help or a lot of help, believe me, once they get that help, 9 out of 10, I'm going back to prison. Get that money in their pocket, everything changes. Thank you, my friend.
That's a good comment there, Ray, and thanks for calling in and supporting what we're trying to offer here. Lives can be changed, and right now you're looking at lives have been changed by two individuals here.
Yes.
I've been home 7 years. This gentleman has been home 18 years. So we have no intention on going back. But one of the things that I learned along the way of not only exhibiting patience, I also had to become flexible. Mr. Pettigrew, I had to become flexible enough to overcome some of the challenges when I couldn't I'd be so close sometimes,
Yeah.
I would be so close, and something would fall out the bottom of that. And, sometimes the lure of the enemy would be saying, man, you can get back out there and grind and you can get your money on, but I just didn't do it. Here, let me do this. Let me go to a caller, and if you decide to field this question or comment, we can do that, and then I've got some more questions for you.
Sure.
Okay? Caller, tell us who you are and what is your comment or your question.
Hi, my name is Eddie Dunn.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, I just wanted to say I paroled in 2001.
Okay, congratulations.
Wow, I see you got me on delay because I'm watching you. I apologize. But since then, I have been out here contracting and working. And
Turn your TV down, Eddie. Eddie.
Yes, I'm
Turn your TV
watching
down.
it. Well, turn it down. Okay, hold on. because I'm watching and I'm like, wow, hey.
Yeah.
I apologize.
It's a surreal experience, yeah.
Right.
It is. I didn't notice. Okay, I got you on mute. All right, thank you guys.
No problem. Go right ahead.
Since I paroled in 2001, I went over to Safer. Safer helped me out over there on Jackson. And I'm now, I achieved my associate degree from Westwood College. I received my bachelor's degree and my master's degree in information technology and
Okay.
systems security from Robert Morris
Okay.
downtown. I am currently working very successfully at a IT firm in Chicago downtown. And what you guys are doing is amazing, and I have done nothing to give back to see what you guys are doing.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I need to communicate. I need to become a part of what you are. I need to jump on this.
Eddie, there's a number right there on the screen for you. 773
Oh, that one. 746.
746-3075. You give that call tomorrow between 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m., and someone will be on the line to handle the call for you and probably connect you with some of the services, resources, and possibly opportunities that Inmates for Change could be able to offer for you.
You know what? You guys are amazing. You're doing a great job. I've just got my cable TV and a nice brownstone on the I'm like, man, I need to communicate because brothers need to see that guys like me and guys like you don't have to be out there, man.
That's
this
true.
Is working.
That's
It's
true.
working.
Thanks so much for the encouraging call
Thank you.
and the comment. And Eddie, don't forget to call tomorrow.
Oh, not at all.
All right, man.
You will. Hopefully you'll see me soon.
Take care. You know what? That's a great call, and I appreciate his comment. You know, that was one of my questions that I was about to ask, and I'm going to ask it now, is what kind of programs or organizations helped to ease your transition when you came home?
I was fortunate.
You can say some names. You can say some names. Okay.
Okay. Well, I was fortunate enough to, like I said, I had a family base.
Okay.
Right. I had an aunt who believed that her nephews and her, people could do. She didn't have any children, so she believed in us.
Mm-hmm.
And my family had a little business when I came home, but when I stopped relying on that, I started going back to school.
Okay.
I went back to a school that was downtown called OAI Inc., where I got my license and certification in environmental.
Oh, hey, that's over there with
remediate.
Sean Phillips, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that guy. Go ahead.
And the Safer Foundation that the gentleman Eddie just spoke of,
Okay.
they gave me a lot of different leads. I worked a few different jobs with them at a steel factory and different things, but until I found my niche.
Mm-hmm.
But really, the only other organization that I can really speak of, the biggest one in my life was my family.
Okay, that's great. I've got another caller. While you were speaking, I got a call coming in. Caller, tell us who you are, speak a little loud, and tell us what your comment or your question is. Hello? Okay.
Hello, Jones.
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
this is Dean from Positive Pathways of Chicago. How are you?
Hey, Dean, how are you? Thanks for calling in. Comment, question, Dean?
No, I just want to tell you, man, I'm proud of you. You've come a long way.
Hmm.
And I look forward to being on the show with you in December.
Dean, you plugging your guest appearance on the call?
Oh, Dave.
Dean Santopolo, my man.
I feel like I'm talking to someone in outer space there. I kind of had to hear you.
I know, man. Don't worry about it. We can hear you perfectly. Thanks for the comment, Dean, and I'm sure we're going to get you on either in December or after December. I promise you. Okay, that's Dean Santopolo. That's one of my buddies that I work with out in the world who's doing some great work over there with his industrial relations training program. I've got a question for you, and I know that we're getting close to our end of our time. We've got about 2 minutes, so let me ask you, what has the Inmates for Change organization been involved with you along with your transition through your reentry process?
Wow.
Got to make it quick.
Meeting you and the Inmates for Change in the lab, the classes, the lab,
The lab, yeah.
just did wonders for the path that I was already on. Talking about change, looking at family, looking at structure, looking at all these different things from a different perspective, really opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Well, I appreciate you saying that as quick as you could, and that helped. Ladies and gentlemen, we're running out of time, and what I want to do is take a moment to say this program has been made possible in part by support from the Mobile Doc. Mr. Rob Pettigrew, my guest, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And it's good to see you, man. I hadn't seen him in quite a while. Been ducking me like he owed me money, man, but it's good to see you back, man. Now, hopefully, I heard you're working, so you can give me a couple of my dollars back.
Okay.
My man, my man. So those of you, again, thanks for tuning in all seriousness. Inmates For Change is dedicated to breaking the bondage of destructive thinking. We want to thank you for tuning in, and please tune in next week because we've got more to come, and you're going to enjoy every segment, I promise you. Thank you, and good night.